That's right, we're talking specific stocks from now on. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Adam. You are watching Steady Invest. And today I'm going to show you guys 3 different sample portfolios. One being very basic, one tailored toward growth, and one being a little bit more defensive. And the reason why I want to share this with you guys now is because I know a lot of people on a personal level that are nervous or scared to get into the markets. Or they have no idea where to begin, and I know exactly what that was like just a few months ago. So I'm going to show you guys a few different ways that you can structure your portfolio, and you can agree or disagree, and there's nothing wrong with that. Let me know in the comments what you think. As well, if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hit that subscribe button. As always, smash that like button. It helps my videos get out there. Otherwise, let's get right to it. Alright, portfolio number 1, and this is a very basic kind of portfolio. I didn't even construct this one myself. I've talked about it in previous videos. It's an all-in-one ETF that trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol HGRO. And within this all-in-one ETF are 4 other different ETFs. There's actually 5, but I've combined all the international into one to make things simple. So you can see US large cap and NASDAQ on the left here. They make about 55% of the entire portfolio. And then you have international, which makes about just over 25%. And Canadian, which makes just over about 15% of the entire portfolio. Just by buying this one ETF, it essentially creates an entire portfolio for you. And it gives you characteristics of both growth and diversification. It's essentially a fail-safe way to invest if you really don't want to do your research and you want exposure to all the global growth markets. So for portfolio number 2, I divide into 3 different sections. So number 1 will have 35 to 50% in anchor or foundational stocks. For this part of your portfolio, you want to invest in companies that are really well established already, also known as blue chip companies that are well established now, but at the same time you can still expect them to grow in the future. And you don't need too many of these stocks, only like 3 or 5. And I know you're thinking, wow, that's it, but that's all you really need. You don't need 20 or 30 or 40 foundational stocks to build your portfolio around. If you've done your proper research and can expect big things from these companies, you don't need to over diversify. And that was my problem when I first started, was I was buying way too many companies because I wasn't confident in every single one. And I hadn't done enough research to convince myself that I really believe in these companies. So an example of an ETF, and you can just buy this ETF if you want because there's so many different stocks within it. And this is Vanguard's Growth ETF at an ultra low cost of 0.04%. And I talked about it in a video I just posted a couple days ago about the best growth ETFs to buy. This ETF essentially tracks the performance of all the biggest companies in the States with the growth potential. You can't go wrong picking the stock in the long term, and that's the point. And some other blue chip companies you can consider as well is Berkshire, which is Warren Buffett's company, Visa, or any of the FANG stocks as well. You have Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. You can't go wrong. And these are just some examples of so many other blue chip companies. The second part of the portfolio are your middle core stocks. And this is the second half of the core part of your portfolio, where you're still investing in companies that you believe in, but they can be a little bit riskier in nature than those anchor stocks. Think mid-cap companies that still have substantial room to grow in the future. And 5 to 10 stocks will do just that for you. Again, I know, and again, you're probably thinking, wow, that's not enough. And if you want to add more, by all means, it's your portfolio. But it may be addition by subtraction because your money will be stretched more thinly. And me personally, I'd rather put more money in stocks that I really believe in. A couple examples of this are the ARK ETFs. They have so much room to grow due to their nature of investing in innovative technology for the future. And I just released a video the other day about all 5 ARK ETFs. Check it out. And just to reiterate, guys, this isn't an end-all be-all. Like Tesla could be one of your anchor stocks, and Visa could be one of your middle core stocks. It all just depends of how you want to balance your own portfolio. And the last 10% of your portfolio, you could allot to speculation stocks. And these are companies that are really high risk in nature. But if you do your research and find companies that you really believe in, they could pay huge rewards in the long run. Like you're talking 10x, 50x, 100x, 1000x. It's all possible if you get in early enough. Remember, with high reward comes high risk. And a couple of stocks that fit in this category, and I actually own both of these myself, are Virgin Galactic and the Very Good Butchers. And I'm coming out with a Very Good Butchers video very shortly. Just looking at this portfolio I just made up right now, this is pretty high growth, meaning in the short term, like this could go down a lot. But long term, you're looking at huge gains in my opinion. This last portfolio, I'm going to make it as an example for someone who's a retiree that doesn't want to carry too much risk like the previous 2. Alright, so for the first part of the portfolio, I'm going to allot it to value and dividend stocks, anywhere from 35 to 60% of the entire portfolio. I know that's a really big range, but as I'll show you guys in a moment, it just depends on what kind of investor you are as a retiree. And an example of an ETF I've used in the past in a couple other videos is the ETF XEI. It trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange. It's a really high quality dividend ETF. Another ETF I've talked about as well is MGV, which tracks an index of large cap companies that are at really good value in the States. And a few other favorite stocks of mine, I have Brookfield Renewable Energy, Algonquin Power and Utilities, or Pepsi, are all solid value dividend plays as well. There's also VIG, which is an American ETF, which I believe is an excellent dividend ETF. The next portion of the portfolio I would allot to stable growth, and this is the reason why the range is so big for both value dividend and stable growth. Because a lot of retirees that I've met personally do not like investing in the boring dividend value plays. They like the growth, they like seeing their portfolios increase so much more in a shorter amount of time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It just depends on what kind of risk tolerance you have. And some quick examples are Walmart, Costco, Crown Castle, and Berkshire. In the last 10% of the portfolio, I would allow for high growth or spec stocks. Some examples, Tesla, or Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google. And I'm going to say it again, it really just depends on you. Maybe you consider any one of these 5 stocks to be stable growth and not high growth, right? So again, it just depends on how you see things. So depending on your own research and your risk tolerance, you can create your portfolio that way. There are literally infinite ways that you can construct your own portfolio. I remember for me, when I first started, it was so difficult figuring out which stocks I wanted to buy and how much of each stock I wanted. However, the more research I was doing, the more and more comfortable I was becoming, as well experience in the market, seeing stocks go up and down and seeing an opportunity pass you. Nothing can really prepare you for it except for going through it and gaining that experience firsthand. And honestly, it's supposed to be enjoyable. You should be liking the companies that you're investing in, or the idea that these assets are going to grow over a long period of time. Remember why you're doing it. It's an investment. But at the end of the day, it depends on you, your goals, your plan, your time horizon, so many different variables. And as always, if you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, drop me a comment, and if you're a new investor and want to get started, use my links below. You'll join either Questrade or Wealthsimple, and we'll both get free money. Otherwise, see you guys in the next video.